Let's see if we can change the diagram and have it show up in the IDE properly. So first of all, let's just check that this is still working the way it looks. So we'll reload this and then type in test.drawio, and then we'll put in some input followed by a new line, and there it is, ABC. Nothing comes out in errors, probes, or elsewhere. And then we'll start again. This time I'm going to add a probe, an A probe. This is just a naming thing. I'll put it there, get rid of that. And then I will attach it to the output. So what we expect to see is that we get an output on the A probe, and then we get an output on the output, the same output on the output. I'm going to save the diagram, reload, and then start from scratch. A, B, C, D, E, F, carriage return, and this is what I expected. It's got an output of DEF, and the A probe says DEF also. So what's really happened is that the original A DEF came in here, got echoed out this port, and then this port went to two places, there and there. Because it's inside a container component, all the stuff inside the container fires first. So first, the output goes to the probe, and then the output goes to the output, and that gets processed. And at the top level, processing of that just dumps it to the output. And that's what we're seeing here. We didn't see, it happened so fast that we couldn't see it. This came first and this came second. Actually, the way the Python code is written, it doesn't differentiate between the two. It just dumps them all. Now, let's see if we can just do something silly. We'll just add another echo component here. We'll wire it up. And we'll wire that up there with no probes. And then we'll start again. So we do test.drawware DEF GHI carriage return. What we see here is what I expect, that the probe shows the input, the output shows the last input, even though there were two. There was one coming from here and one coming from there. And because it's an echo, it's a silly circuit that doesn't really do anything interesting. Both components echo the same thing. And so the first output and the last output are the same, GHI. Next, we'll add one more probe. We'll do a B probe, get rid of that, and then we'll just watch the output of this thing. So here what we expect is that the input goes to both of these components. Both of these components just echo the input. And then in random order, one gets picked over the other. So let's say that one fires first, and it'll output to two places, here and here. And we'll get an output on the A probe, and then the output, and then it'll go to the output, and that doesn't get processed until later. Then we'll go to the second, arbitrarily choose the second one to fire, and it fires the two places here to the output and here to the probe B. So what we should expect to see is an output here on the A probe, an output on the B probe, and then finally the last output of the whole system. So let's see what happens. We'll reset that, go test.drawio, GHI, JKL. We hit enter, and I think it did what I expected. So we got an A probe output, we got a B probe output. So we did that one and that one. And then both of them went to the output, and only the last one gets picked off and shown on this output here, JKL.